folks, another natter. Well, actually, this isn't a natter. It is a natter, but it's a tips and tricks natter. You know, all those months ago when I said we were gonna set up a new playlist about tips and tricks, and I think we've only done one video so far on there. This is going to be our second video, I think, and we're going to be talking about tips and tricks of planning your wedding, your wedding day. I just told Gary what we're going to be talking about today, and he was like, I think because you don't need to plan for these conversations, you know, Gary.
I know you don't. It's just that I think you did 80% of the wedding planning.
You can join in. You must have learnt something. Let's face it, right? So your wedding day is your wedding day. It's nobody else's wedding day. It's your wedding day. And I think as well, you don't need to keep up with the Joneses. And I think as well, with your wedding day, bring your personality into it. There's nothing worse than when there's a group of friends and each one of those friends has the same wedding, the same style dress, the same venue, the same flowers, the same... And even if there's a slight difference, you can tell that they've just tweaked it a bit. I think bring out your originality. If you're the type of bride that wants to wear a colourful dress, wear a colourful dress. If you want to wear a meringue, wear a meringue. You know, have the type of wedding that you want to have. I
think budget is really important. Really consider how much you want to spend on this wedding. I know a lot of men will probably say it's only a party, and then women will go crazy. But it isn't. It's your wedding day, and you should spend on it what you need to spend on it. Now, if you want to spend £20,000-30,000 on your wedding, that's your prerogative. But do you really need to? It depends what your wants and needs are for that wedding, and how many guests you want to invite. Because that was our issue, wasn't it? We wanted to invite 80 to 120 people, didn't we? And we were looking at wedding venues everywhere, and you were lucky to get a sit-down dinner. You were lucky to get 40 people, weren't you?
It's like 40 during the day, 80 at night if you're lucky.
Yeah.
It's just like, that's impossible, isn't it?
Yeah, we couldn't get the numbers down to that level. Well, we could have done, but it would have been a lot of heartache and annoyance, and so you've got to decide: do you want to put yourself through that? We decided not to, and we decided to just have the wedding at a
the party. It's not reception. Party, yeah. At a working men's Garforth Working Men's Club. For any of you in Garforth area, Crossgates. And we had over 90 people in there, but what I will say is hindsight is a great thing, and I've shared this on Claire Thackeray other channel, that within 2 to 4 weeks of the wedding, 30-40% of those people we would never see again. A lot of them my work colleagues, some of your friends, it just went woof. And I think it can be really, especially when, like with me, work in a big place across many different departments, where you can invite everyone, you could go ballistic and never do it again. No. Never do it again.
Yeah, you've got to really consider your guest list, I think. Are they your main friends? Are they just hangers-on? You know what I mean? Don't feel the need you've got to invite everybody.
You know, has this person played a special part in my life?
And if we'd really considered it, we could have probably gone to a venue where you pay, I don't know, £5 or £6 and you get a sit-down dinner and a party at the end where you do get 40, 80 guests, you know what I mean? But we didn't, you know, and that's the way to keep the budget down, is to do what we did and have pretty much a bun fight. So it's a working men's club with a buffet.
It was nice though. We had swags put around, we had flowers put around. What were they called them? Gypsophilia, little clumps of gypsophilia and pink swags, and we had a balloon arch with the big... Oh, you know what I'm going to say here, Gary? You're going to proper get triggered by this.
You want me to put photos in the video, aren't you?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Just a few. You want to do it at the end, or should we just stall so we have a clip break so you can put some in?
There's a video, well, not a video.
I think put some at the end just to make it easier.
Well, we have done it before. We have done it on another video.
Yeah, we can just put some in. We'll pop some in and then you can have a look. Yeah. It's already a little bit.
If you want to watch more of it, we have done a video on how we met, haven't we? And at the end of that, there's a big monologue of photos from the wedding, and there's honeymoon and all that kind of stuff. So if you want a bit more of a deeper dive on that, then there's I think we did it right early doors. It had been December, January last year. So there's that video you can have a look at as well.
Yeah.
We'll put it in the comments.
Yeah. So, yeah. Don't overdo it. Don't overdo it. And don't be upset about having a buffet now, because buffets, and be original as well, because there's all kinds of things like there's fish and chip carts you can get now, barbecue carts, you can get drinks vans, you can do so much.
You can have pigs roasted on the spit and all sorts, can't you? Yeah, there's so much you can do.
Because I think buffets used to be the original thing, then the meal came in. And I also think as well, and now I would have balked at this when we were planning our wedding, but again, age and wisdom is everything. I think consider vegans, gluten-free and dairy-free, because a lot of people will actually say, I'm not coming to your wedding if you can't cater. If they've been on this path a while, they'll possibly say we're not coming, or they'll bring their own food and offend you. So have options for people.
Because we did that, didn't we? We had a big argument on shall we put hot dogs on the buffet.
I shall tell you what we had on ours. We had hot dogs, curries, rice, salads, sandwiches, vol au vent. We had the biggest buffet in the world. We went extreme, but I'd rather that than...
And there was half of it left.
Chips and pizzas and all kinds of things.
It was nuts. But it was relatively inexpensive compared to doing a wedding breakfast. It was nowhere near the cost of doing a wedding breakfast for 40 people. I mean, I think we did a buffet for probably about 150 people, and there's only about 100 turned up, so we had about a third of the buffet left, didn't we? But we didn't want to be one of those people that didn't serve enough food as well. So you've got to be really careful. In retrospect, I wouldn't have catered for as many people as I did, but you get in the fear. Yeah. And it's really difficult. You've just got to really consider and make sure you cater for the guests that are coming. Yeah. Because we went a bit weird as guests, didn't we? And again, you've got. I think you've got to have a bit of boundaries in that, haven't you? With it, rather than just keep inviting people.
Because it can be quite easy to do. We got married later in the day as well. We got married at 3:00, and then I'd aim for a reception about 4:30, 5, which gives you time to get ready, even though that backfired, but I will tell you about that in a bit. And with the don't be put off working men's or calls and clubs, because we actually turned our space into a really nice space, and we got the chef from Harewood House who knew us. So Harewood House is where Earl Harewood lives, cousin of the late Queen, and he came and he was, what's it called?
What?
Where they come and host.
Master of Ceremonies.
He came and did Master of Ceremonies for us with some staff from Harewood House, and we had a drinks reception. So as we were having pictures taken at the church, we'd bought lots of boxes of champagne and stuff and prosecco, and they set it all out and served it. So just because you're having a working men's don't mean to say you can't posh it up.
And that was a good thing about working men's, because they have lots of individual rooms as well. So rather than letting people in the actual wedding venue room, the main room, there were an off room there where we could have the champagne reception, which is where they had it, which is really good, which gave us time to get there, have a glass, and then get into the room and have a quick look around the room before we let everybody in. So it worked out really well, and it just flowed. Yeah,
and he organised things for us, didn't he? He organised the speeches, the start, so you can. Which is good. Which you do if you do it in a community centre, you lose all that. In a hotel, you get all that. So thinking about that as well.
It depends again what you want and what guest experience you want. So you don't know about me. Some weddings I've been to, you end up just sat around waiting for them to turn the room around.
Oh yeah, and you can have a real slump, can't you?
And you've been drinking a bit in the afternoon. And then you end up going for a kip in the hotel room. And
you're wrecked then.
And you don't feel like going back down, do you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? After the wedding breakfast. And it's sometimes really difficult. Or if it's not a hotel and it's just a venue somewhere out in the middle of nowhere, which I've had before as well. You just stuck out in the grounds or something, or in an ante room or something, waiting for him to turn it around. Which can be a bit frustrating. Yeah,
and with your invites as well, put on a list of local hotels to the venue so people can, because they may not want to stay in your venue. And local taxi firm companies, local B&Bs, local Premier Inns.
Yeah, because everybody's
That
got a
type of
different
thing.
budget as well. Some people might want to stock 5-star, some people might want to stock budget, you know what I mean? So there's all those things to think about as well. It's not your purview to book it for them, but at least you can give them the option of where these rooms are.
I think as well, bridesmaids, don't have too many bridesmaids. I know we had 3, didn't we? 4.
4, yeah.
One adult
One
and 3
adult.
little flower girls. And I wanted one adult because then you can spend the money on that adult bridesmaid. She can get a decent dress, you can get decent shoes, you can spend on hair and makeup because you often get lots of bridesmaids and it gets scrimpy. And you want your bridesmaids to look good as well. You don't want your bridesmaids not looking good. And it stops favouritism as well, I think, when you just have one adult bridesmaid. It stops, well, she's not asked me and she's doing that job and I'm doing that job. And I was lucky because I went into BHS, it was in the White Rose Centre in Leeds, and they were having a closing down sale and I got our flower girl dresses. Literally there on sale.
You got 4 in the vac, didn't you? Did you get 4? Because you weren't sure about sizes, so you actually got 1 extra. I'm sure you got 1 extra just in case. Because they were that cheap, you could do.
And they were lovely. And then I went over to Monsoon and walked in there, had a little sale on little headdress type things, and like a little crown of flowers with ribbons coming down.
So you can do it on a budget. You can do it on a budget, and there are deals to be had at times if you have a look round, and if you get lucky like us.
And then wedding dress, I'd say, if you're going to have a proper wedding dress, make sure you go to a wedding dress shop. Or if you don't, at least make sure you've got connection to a really good dressmaker. Because again, some people try and cut corners and you end up, well, we've all seen brides where they're walking down the aisle like that because having to hold it up because it's not been properly sculptured. Or they're having to hold up the train because it's too long. So go to a proper wedding dress shop. Or at least get a dressmaker that you know can help you. So if you do buy something off the peg, they can do what needs to be done, add in, subtract in. I mean, my wedding dress was a meringue, and it was only £845 compared to some dresses that are out there that are in the thousands.
I was pleasantly surprised. So get it. Yes, you can have that. Thank you.
I had a veil and a little tiara. I had little sequins to stitch on it like Princess Diana did because I was sad like that back then. And I think as well the whole bride shop and going for fittings is a big thing as well. It's part of it.
It's an experience.
I think to just cut that out of it. Wedding meetings. We used to have wedding meetings, didn't we?
Yeah.
Where
Sorry.
regular wedding meetings where we built.
I don't think I was invited, was I?
With a bottle of prosecco, bridesmaid, mother, and me obviously, and just regularly keeping conversation flowing about.
More of a coven than a
I actually
wedding meeting.
I actually miss those wedding meetings now. And we had those once a month, and they were good.
I bet you did.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. Got through a good couple of bottles of prosecco.
Yeah. So just to keep. Are you taking the mic now, Billy?
Am I?
Just to keep, it's part of the fun. It's not just about the day, and this is, I think, what we can forget. It's about the experience and the run up to it.
Yeah.
Cars is important as well.
Well, I was about to say it is a stressful experience. So to take that time and take the enjoyment out of it, and take the enjoyment with it, and doing those kind of things is really, really important.
And also cars. Make sure you got cars, because again, people don't think about cars, do they? Make sure you've got the budget for decent cars, or if it's friends and family, that you've got friends and family that you can trust, that you know they're going to clean the cars, they're going to get you from A to B safely, they're going to show up.
Yeah.
Dependable, because there's all kinds of horror stories. And if you get in a company, get a good company as well, because we had a breakdown in ours, didn't we?
Yes.
And they compensated for it.
Yeah, so basically it was supposed to be a princess and a prince. Is it Austin? Was it Austin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that. A princess car and a prince.
Yeah, and unfortunately the prince car broke down.
Yeah.
prior to us coming. So they brought 2 princesses, and they gave us like a really nice high-end Mercedes, modern Mercedes as well, which we could use on the day, which worked out a treat because it gave us a bit more scope than just having 2 cars. It gave us 3, so we could share it, get people to the church quicker and stuff like that. My parents and family and stuff. So it worked out quite well. So yeah. Turned up my end anyway. It worked out for our side.
We got cars. I'll tell you why I were delayed in a minute. But having a wedding car company is one and a good one. They're not just there to drive you. They're there to look after your dress, to hold your flowers, to guide you in properly so you don't rip your dress. Also, as well, if you have what happened to me and you pull up outside the church and the heavens open, they have lots of brollies in the car. They actually know how to get you from the car and to step by step. They have, and if you just turn up with your Uncle Dave in his Merc, he has got none of that. And if it's raining, you are done.
Yeah.
Whereas I had lots of, because by that time all the wedding cars had come up, so they all took the brollies out. My dad got drenched because they said we're covering the bride, not the
the father of the bride.
Which is fair play, and you don't want to be walking in with something. And I actually had to run into church. So they like lift your dress up at the front, they lifted it up at the back, and I actually ran into church. Classic.
Yeah.
And then I found out that's actually a sign of good luck, is that, for it to rain on your wedding day. It's cleansing.
Yeah, definitely.
I needed that. So yeah. So don't and also photographer. Don't skimp on a photographer like we did. We skimped on a photographer.
Well, we thought we got a half decent one, but
when it turned out the day, he came, didn't he? And you know me being a little investigator, he shot off halfway through, didn't he? And you could tell he was quite edgy.
He did bring another one though. It was only supposed to be one photographer, wasn't there? So he brought somebody else, and she stayed for the whole until the evening, didn't she? So we kind of got extra, but
he was distracted.
He was distracted.
He was very distracted, and he actually didn't know how to take pictures of women. I don't think to compliment them. She did, but he didn't, and it just a lot of my pictures. I'm like, you know. So I think photography, I've always said, you know, all these like where they're all the veils up and all that, it's up to you, but I think a decent photographer because
and they've got all modern ways now as well. They'll use drones and all sorts, won't they? So there's that wasn't there in 2017. That's you know this kind of things have come a long way, haven't they? They used to go up on stately homes and look down and things like that, but now they could just use a drone to do it and do it very easily. But there's stuff that they can do. Do you want to say why he was upset?
you love it, you don't you? So, why was upset with what?
Why the photographer was a bit out of it.
Oh yeah. Well, apparently his dog died. His dog died. Because I went on his Facebook afterwards and it was like his dog had died. And I get that that's sad, but you booked him for someone's wedding day. It was just strange, and I don't think he was that. And then he went off afterwards and he was taking pictures of women in basques and all that kind of stuff.
What?
You know, like basques, it became a big, I don't know what to call them. Where you go and you sit in your underwear and you get a male photographer to take pictures of you.
Okay.
You went into that afterwards.
I didn't know that, yeah. Which is not great because he wasn't good at taking photos of women. There you go.
Well, maybe not women in Bridesmaids anyway.
Women with clothes on.
Yeah, he might be good at the other stuff. But yeah, I would say as well, when you take your team with you for your final fittings, especially if you've got a corset dress, film the women doing the corset dress, because the women that went with me, my mum and main bridesmaid, forgot how to do it. They struggled to do it. So when it came to it, and especially because of the stress of the day, it's like, what do we do? So that helped to delay us a bit, getting me dressed.
Yeah, and I'll make sure there's videos on YouTube that you can watch as you're doing it, or something like that.
Because it's just a corset, or it's just a hook and eye, it's fine, but when you're stressed you can forget, so get them to film it, and get them to be really au fait with it. And have a good itinerary that morning in place so you're all ready in time, because we kind of slipped a bit in ours.
Did you? Did you just a little bit?
I thought about 30 minutes late. But had I not been 30 minutes late, I'd have walked into the wives of your football friends walking down aisle pissed. In fact, no, they'd have come in after me apparently. So if I'd have been on time, that's what would have happened. So you see that's the God stepping in, is that?
It probably was, yes.
Because it was worked out by a few friends that
Yeah.
if I'd have come on time, they'd have come after drunk.
Well, they wouldn't have been allowed in, would they?
I don't know, it would have stopped them. You'd have dormant on door.
No.
God might have stopped them. Or did, something like that, but you see, so there's a reason for everything.
There is, yes.
So get a good itinerary going as well, so you know, because it just flies that morning that you're getting ready.
Yeah.
I can't 30 minutes late, but easily done. I only lived around a few streets away, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? It was because there's a football match on that morning.
And they all went
If you're
round.
into football, make sure your husband's team's not playing that morning that you're going to get married.
Which I didn't.
I didn't know either, I've got to admit. Well, it's a TV, isn't it? It was a massive one, so they put it on at 12 o'clock on a Saturday morning.
And yeah,
What are you going to do?
inebriation comes to mind.
It does,
chaos.
yes. I didn't watch it.
No, you didn't actually, did you?
I decorated our bedroom.
You did, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. You were very good. You decorated, put all balloons and banners up and stuff, didn't you?
Didn't miss much, we lost about 5-0.
Yeah. Bottle of champagne in the bedroom, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was, yes. Still had its security tag on it.
God.
It looked like I nicked it.
Yeah. Crazy. What else? Tips and tricks for your wedding day?
I don't know where we're getting to.
We've spoken about it a lot. We've done cars, we've done serve. Yeah, and venue as well. Have it where you want to have it. Because there can be a little bit of ooh-ha over venue. I mean, we got married in a church.
Yeah, it's a difficult one. Do you want to get married in a church? Do you want a registry office? Do you want the, what is it? The
Town hall.
town hall, that's the one words I'm looking for. You know, do you want it to be civil? Do you want it to be religious? You know what I mean? All those things you've got to bear in mind.
Do you want an outside wedding? And if you have an outside wedding, you're going to have weather.
Yeah, what are you going to do if you haven't? Yeah, there's lots of things to look at. Yeah, what else? There's got to be loads.
Don't ruin it for yourself neither, getting stressed over silly things, because you know what, it doesn't matter. You do get stressed over what people are going to wear, what people are going to do, what people are going to say, and actually it doesn't matter at the end of the day. Because you can get really stressed about that. What if this happens? What if that happens? And it's always the stuff that you don't imagine happening that happens anyway.
Yeah.
And I think every wedding goes through those type of stories.
Try and enjoy your day, because it goes very quickly. And try and take in as much as you can when you can. And take 5 minutes. Or, take some time for yourself during the day, because it does whip through very quickly.
Yeah, don't put things off as well. Get ahead of the game in your planning. Don't just wait until the last minute, because it could be like if you've got 2 years or whatever, 18 months, it can be so easy to think, I'll start next year, and actually start early doors, because it soon goes, really. It really does go. Like getting your invites out on time, getting save the dates out on time. Yes. And Gary's miles away there.
Yeah.
Where were you then, Gary?
I've no idea.
Try to think of something else we can say. Tips and tricks of your wedding.
Chips. I don't know.
I've hair and makeup trials as well.
I
had hair and makeup trials. I think most brides do that now, don't they?
I don't know.
I think they do. I don't know. It depends if you can. I mean, I can do my own makeup. I think it's nice on your wedding day to have it done.
Yeah, I've got some.
What? Go on.
If you're using kids
I was thinking kids.
in your wedding, make sure they have a proper fitting before the day.
Yeah.
We didn't with my nephew, and he shot up, absolutely shot up, and his trousers were a little bit short, and his jacket was a little bit too short, because because my brother lives fair way away.
They did have the option to have a test. They had to come and have a fitting, didn't they? They said
Yeah,
no.
they didn't want to come because it was quite a drive. And they said, it'd be fine, he won't grow. He did.
And me being a third eye warrior, knew for a fact that it would grow. It did, and it did.
Oh, big style.
Like cuffs there. And I was just, and I got to a point where I just thought, it's fine, it's what it is. So bear that in mind with your people as well. Can they make fittings and stuff? And also as well, you know, are people willing to turn up for things, for practices, for fittings, because sometimes people just aren't.
No.
And that can stress you out.
They commit to stuff and they're not really committed. You know what I mean? So it's a difficult one.
I think as well, especially with your core team, think wisely about who's going to do what role. Just because somebody is this person doesn't mean to say they have to do that.
No.
Because they may not be up to doing that, or they may not know how to do it. Because especially if you've not had your own wedding, you don't know about what to expect and what not to expect, which is the reason why. Is it like they say your maid of honour, your matron of honour? Because the maid of honour, matron of honour should have had a wedding, but when she's not had a wedding, she doesn't know, does she?
No.
So bear that in mind as well.
Experience. Yeah.
Because it does help. Trying to think. Flowers. What did I say about flowers? My auntie made my flowers, and lovely bouquets, weren't they?
Yeah, you didn't have flowers, did you? You had
silk flowers.
Silk flowers, yes.
We went to Country Baskets, and even that was nice because we went to as a group of women to Country Baskets, which was is it in Morley that?
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Yeah, Morley Way, and we chose all the colours. I had pink, grey, and cream, and I had a big bouquet that's like goes right around the back as well. Didn't I have a big one?
Yeah, massive.
Yeah.
Weighed a ton.
And on my bouquet as well, there were flowers in it from when I was a bridesmaid for my cousins. So there were little flowers in it, and also ribbons on my bouquet, I think. And the bridesmaids had the same thing around they were done quite old-fashioned, like when I was a bridesmaid in the 90s, from when I had like the little bouquet. So that was a nice touch as well.
Yeah.
Bringing in nice touches as well.
Yeah, anybody that can do stuff for you to give you that homely touch as well is really good, because your mum did all the invites, didn't she? She did a lot of the wedding favours and the table decorations and all that kind of stuff. So it's all very good. It gives you that kind of homely touch, doesn't it? More sentimental.
Yeah, so who around you can help. Again, make sure they're dependable and you can trust them. That they'll show up.
And they'll get it done. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and I will say something else, because it's becoming more and more modern. Be mindful of those, how you honour those that have passed. So say if you've got a parent that's passed, because you see more and more of this. Obviously from a healing point of view, the truth is your relatives, your relatives that are in spirit are with you anyway. You don't need... It's a hard one because people may want to have pictures, but sometimes you can go into weddings and there is like an altar, a shrine, and that can actually have the opposite effect than what you want, because the truth is, it is just a doorway away. And that can bring, if you've got a bouquet, you've got pictures of this person hanging down, it can bring sadness into that bouquet. So be mindful of that, because there is energy and they are there with you. But I could do more about that on my own channel, actually. I know it sounds like that's a bit controversial, but it's true. It is true. Yes.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, Gary?
I don't know. It's a bit over my expertise.
Yeah, it's hard. It's like, because I have been to weddings where you walk in and it's like an altar. And it when you can read it, as you can feel that is a corner that's quite sad, it's got sadness to it, or they'll have it plonked right in the middle of the room. And the thing is, spirit, when they go over, they don't like, because they realise the freedom, liberation, and they know that they can pop in. It's when we do that we can keep them anchored. I say that as well about people wearing deceased jewellery and ashes, and now we get dispose of ashes and honour ashes and stuff. When we have jewellery with ashes in it, it helps to anchor them, and you don't really want them anchored. I'll tell you why, because I'll tell you what, I didn't have any of that, and my nana appeared on our wedding day, didn't she? I didn't have any pictures or anything like that, and it was a particular picture of my mum in the back car where my nana's face is imprinted on her. Isn't it? Isn't that a freaky picture?
It's weird, yeah.
My little niece, who was my little niece then, who is now Gracie, that you saw in a video a few weeks ago, woke up that morning and the first thing she said was, Nana May is all around us.
Bless her.
So, and I had none of those pictures or.
No.
It's a celebration. It's not meant to be a wake or a funeral or.
Yeah.
It's a celebration, and make it a celebration for them up there.
You can honour them by just thinking about them on the day. You know what I mean? You can be sad that they're not there, but
Oh
you know.
yeah. I tell you what, talking about relatives, a trend that's coming in now is taking your mum's wedding dress or grandmother's or great and actually having it remastered for your own. Which I kind of like that idea. I kind of like that
Good
idea.
reuse.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
They'll take they'll take the top or they'll take the bottom and they'll remaster it or they'll just have it like looked after and mended and stuff. I like that idea.
Yeah, it's a really good idea. Yeah. It's all about getting the right tailor, I suppose.
Dressmaker. And I'm going to be honest with you, right?
Go on.
Lose weight for your wedding, because I was given the worst advice ever. I actually started to go on a diet for our wedding, didn't I? And we went out for a meal, and one particular person on this table said, "Oh, you don't need to lose weight for your wedding because you are who you are," which is quite right, and she's quite right about that. You are who you are, and you should celebrate that. But what happens when you actually lose weight afterwards? And now I look back at my pictures, and there's some pictures, especially, you know, the male photographer has got me in from some right heifer angles. Honestly, I'm not joking. And it actually was quite a slimming dress because it was in at the waist and it had all the. But because I was big, a lot bigger then, and he wasn't good at taking pictures of women. I look at some of my wedding pictures now; it doesn't look like me. So I would say, yeah, lose weight for your wedding. Try and lose. You want to be fit for your wedding. You want to go to the gym. You want to be in a good mindset for your wedding. You don't want to be going in and not feeling confident and not looking at your wedding pictures and going, I don't like that, I don't like that. And you don't like it because your arms are too big or because you've got a double chin in that picture or you want to be confident and so lose weight. If anybody tells you, you're fine as you are, and that is right, and we shouldn't be bullying people. No. But I actually think, I wish I'd listened and actually got on a diet and did it properly. Because then you know what you do then, don't you?
What?
You overeat? Look at you, look bored in this video. No, look at your face, you know. Everything's just going whoosh.
The same for that year, I think.
As what?
The same thing of the wedding itself. Well, planning.
Oh, sure. And think about what you're going to spend. You're going to spend it. We chose to spend a lot of money on honeymoon rather than wedding. We had a good wedding, didn't we?
We did, yes.
It's how you spend it and how you. Because I gathered decorations up all year. Oh, this is another thing. We had friends and family. We had the flower lady went in and did the swags and the little gypsophilia, and then we had a balloon lady come in. But we had our own family members went in and did all the tablecloths, set all the thingies out, the favours, put the banners up.
Under my direction.
Bless you. Did you all have McDonald's breakfast and stuff that morning as well?
No, I had breakfast in the hotel.
Bless you, under my direction while I was getting ready.
Eddie got a free breakfast. He got your breakfast.
Yeah, so again, you know, get friends and family involved in it. And I think that's because that's what weddings used to be like back in the day. You didn't just give it all to a wedding planner. It's all people bringing in their different...
And that was a good thing about having the wedding when we did as well. It gave us the time to do that in the morning. You know what I mean? It gave us the time for everybody to come and do that. And then be able to get home and get changed. And you know what I mean? And it worked out quite well. Because it's quite a big room to decorate, wasn't it? It
was actually. It was. And I think as well, making a big thing of everything, because it isn't just a day. And you can the wedding meeting up to do the decorations, wedding dress fittings, suit fittings as well. Did you make a big thing of that? You didn't, did you? You just went and got your suit fitted, didn't you?
After work.
Gosh, yeah. We should share some pictures of Gary in his suit afterwards.
Have a look.
Have you got anything else to bring to this video, Gary?
I'm struggling, aren't I?
Tips and tricks of your wedding. What else can we think? Come on, Gary.
We've done alright, haven't we?
Yeah. It's your wedding day. Don't overspend. Enjoy it. Don't stress over the little things. table plan. We didn't have a table plan. Because I just didn't want to put somebody under that restrictiveness.
We had one table, and that was like the table with as family, you know, us on it, and as wedding, the wedding party.
But we didn't have table plans. But I can understand why in a sit-down meal you'd want a table plan. But table plans can be a bit, especially when people are falling out. You've got to make it as easy for you. And what was I going to say then when I started thinking about table plans? Oh, do you know, in relation to guests, be careful who you invite, because what happened to us was we invited people that were quite distant to us and they didn't get in touch to tell us they were coming. And consequently, because I changed jobs halfway through and went to a different clinic, I invited the people from that clinic thinking, well, I've not heard from them, RSVP, so they're not coming. Oh, well. So we had about 10, 15, 20 extra people turn up that day that we weren't expecting because they simply didn't let us know. So you know what? That's when you become Bridezilla and you chase people. Don't add extra people on thinking someone's not coming. You've just got to chase people.
Well, lucky some people didn't come though, because we catered for enough people and we over catered.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember.
I know we are lucky they didn't come out.
Well, not because we had loads of food left over, absolutely loads. We really over catered. Is what it is, and I barely ate out anyway because you don't feel hungry, do you? Because you're just all butterflies all day.
Bless you, you're nervous.
You just want it to go right though, don't you?
Waiting 30 minutes in that church.
Crazy.
Bless you. If you could do it again, what would you do differently?
I'd probably do it smaller. Definitely. I won't do it. I'll just invite the main people to that wedding, and not all the hangers on.
No.
I wouldn't have invited them.
Yeah.
And don't invite people just because somebody else says you should invite that person. Because it's for them. It should be for you. It should be for you. Don't invite somebody you don't know and it's somebody else's guest. Because that's not on at all.
No. Because you hear stories of that, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if I were going to do it again, I'd have it parents, brothers and sisters. We've got no grandparents and aunties and uncles and cousins, and that would be it. That would be it, I think. I don't think I'd invite anybody else.
No.
Maybe do it on a live, so you can all watch. I'm only joking. I'd still do it you, Gary, don't worry. Yeah, I think I would actually, and do something, possibly like a meal, go for a meal somewhere. Somewhere like Gretna Green actually does stuff like that, because we've been looking at stuff, haven't we?
Yeah, we've looked for his 10th anniversary, haven't we, to maybe get his vows renewed.
Yeah, and you can go for a meal afterwards. So I think something like that as well.
Or just do it on his own, just me and thee.
Yeah.
Me and thee.
I remember we got engaged, because we got engaged at Ponton Hall, and that morning went down for breakfast, and there was a couple of women there, weren't they? And she actually said, the best bit of advice I can give you is go off and get married on your own, because it causes too much trouble otherwise. And there is that option as well.
Yeah. Do a flit. Get you sent off. Go on a cruise ship, get the captain to marry you. You know what I mean?
You love cruising, don't you?
Well, I'm just saying, that's an option,
that's
isn't
an option.
it? It's, you Gretna Green, you go to Vegas, get Elvis to marry you.
Yeah, or Marilyn.
Yeah. You know what I mean? You've got options aplenty. That'd be right. Wedding and honeymoon, wouldn't it? If you've got a small budget, you can only afford one or the other. Go and do both at once.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You've got to make that day yours and not about somebody else. And it's really, really easy to start thinking about other people over yourself. Everybody does it. Everybody does it about the family and things like that. People have their weddings abroad and all sorts, don't they? They can only invite a certain number of people, and it is what it is. You've got to make that day your day and what you want. That's key. Everything else just follows on. And it should follow on. And if people are happy, then they're not that close to you, are they?
No.
At the end of the day.
One less space. Or one extra space.
Yeah, one extra space. If you want to see it like that, glass is half full. Or half empty.
Half full.
Half full, yeah.
Depends how you look at it.
What?
It's half full. Or is that if you're half empty, it's like, if it's half full, you're like...
Yeah, half full.
I think that's all my tips and tricks for having a wedding day.
I think so. We've covered most things. Probably missed loads of other stuff out.
Don't let people bully you as well, because I don't know if it's happened to me, but people can take piss out of your wedding as well. You hear stories of that, especially when you've got like sisters and things, and or you've got a close. I don't mean close like that, but I mean females that are close to you that competition you or down you because you're doing it a certain way. Because you may find that if you break away from the wedding matrix, you may get a little bit of a comeback. And I think as well, if you're easily overwhelmed by things, do something small and intimate.
Yeah, definitely.
I love it on Instagram or Facebook when somebody's just done a bog standard wedding that you see all that it's like, yeah, somebody's just got married. But when I look and think they've done something different, you can see that they've done a smaller wedding or that they've done it just different, unique. That interests me.
The thing is, it's talking about as well. We had, I think it was an uncle. It's an uncle that got married when I was a kid, and they did the same thing. I think we got married in a church, and they had the reception in what community centre, not community centre, but like a working men's club kind of thing.
Working men's club.
And they had this massive cake, massive cake, and nobody ever saw any cake, and all the time we said, "Oh, it's a cardboard cake." That.
You're joking.
we don't know for the show, but we used to make a joke that it was a cardboard cake. That's why nobody got it, but it looked a spectacular cake.
Cardboard cake.
Cardboard cake. Well, you know, why not?
Well, and I tell you what, it's where you can get cakes from. You don't need to spend the money on big cake makers now. You can get cakes from Marx's and different supermarkets now. You can order them. You can go to places like Costa and get a big party cake and have whatever. It don't have to be all these tiers and Fontaines. Paying to get a cake done professionally is nice, but again, you don't need to.
No.
And it's the same with flowers. We're so lucky now. We've got so many options where you can, like, there's vintage and stuff, and
there's so many options, isn't there?
Yeah. I think that's it.
Are we done?
We're done. Bless him, are we done? Bless you. Should we do tips and tricks of honeymoon next? You'll be all over that, won't you? Tips and tricks of honeymoon.
Yeah, I find that might be a bit more difficult because obviously we've only had one, so that our choice of honeymoon might be.
Yeah, but we've only had one wedding.
I know, but there's more. The wedding.
Tips and there's all sorts we could say about honeymoon.
I suppose.
Should we fit it in now?
No, we'll do a separate video.
Yeah, tips and tricks of honeymoon, because I think people don't know how far to go. This country, abroad, packing, cost.
Yeah.
Because again, the new thing as well is where you can take people with you, and you don't want to do all that.
No, make it your own. It's your holiday.
Oh, and I'll tell you what, a new trend that's starting is the mother of the bride wearing a bridesmaid dress, and
I thought it was a wedding dress.
Wedding dress in some case, depending on what scale she's on. On that scale, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you've got a mum like that that's pushy, don't let her do that to you. It depends if you want that, but I'm seeing a lot of that at the minute.
If that's going to happen, do a flip, get out.
Because when you Google stuff on Instagram, it comes up, and I was looking at a wedding picture the other day, and I shit you not, I was like, who's the bride and who's the groom there? Because you could see it was two mums, two dads, and a couple, but you could not tell, and it was like, who is actually getting married there? You couldn't tell. Because like the mothers of the bride and the groom had gone nuts in the dresses, they looked like brides. And the bride was like, yeah, looked like a guest. And it was like, oh! Yeah, so it's... And also as well, what I'd say is be mindful of horror stories online. Because I joined lots of Facebook groups and they just put all these horror stories on. Do you know what? You can avoid a lot of that stuff by just using your intuition, following what your soul wants to do, keeping it simple, and just being open to flow. You get a lot of horror stories on those wedding groups and forums. Because sometimes it can be like a competition of who's going to have the worst experience. And just enjoy your wedding day. Be original. I'll let you choose next video, Gary, shall I?
Well, it's it was 80% you, 20% me.
Yeah.
I've got to admit. but you enjoyed doing it.
Yeah. It is,
Why would I take that pleasure away from you? You know what I mean?
Bless you, aren't you cute?
You were enjoying it. I didn't want to step on your toes.
Bless you. If you could have stepped on my toes, what would you have done?
I don't know.
I think
I would have done much differently.
I think it is more of a woman's thing anyway, isn't it, your wedding?
Of course it is. I don't know. What would I change differently? Dressed you in a sackcloth? That cost me a couple of quid. That's 700 quid to save there. You know, taxis.
Taxis, no, he's actually only joking.
Box of crisps.
Yeah, no.
Sarah Lee.
No, he's only joking. I'd like to think anyway. Oh, my hands are dry.
Bless you.
We're looking into getting back into jigsaws again, going away from weddings.
Yep. 300
We've got a 300 piece, not like the 1,000 piece that we did last year.
I want to start on a 15 piece.
You want to start on the 10 piece, you. Anyway, we've got a playlist on here depending on when you watch this video. So you can work your way through tips and tricks. We've got tips and tricks we'll do tips and tricks of honeymoon, tips and tricks of house moving.
We did
It was a cruising one we did, didn't we?
Cruising, didn't we?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if we did the house moving one.
We haven't done it yet.
That'll be the next one. Then we'll do that one next.
Tips, and you can join in with that because you'll have a lot to say about that, won't you, Gara?
Probably. We've got a lot of horror stories we could share.
Yeah, we'll share some horror stories. Anyway, we'll catch you later.
Yep.
Thanks for watching. If you get to the end of this video and you'd like to leave a comment but not sure what to put a wedding emoji. So it could be a ring, a cake, a bride, a church, flowers.
Yeah, all those kind of
things.
Fill
it for love arts, fill it for love, and we'll put some pictures in.
Yeah.
Either before I've just said that or afterwards.
Yeah, picture of sackcloth, picture of a taxi.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Thanks for watching.
So long.
Bye.